Hi there, welcome to my channel and I'm so happy you're watching. Today I'm going to review a fantastic transfer technique and I will record this video in 2 days because I need to wait, but of course this will be one video. You don't have to wait to see the result. What you need is magazines, beautiful images of magazines or postcards and a substrate. So for example, an art journal, I will work in my art journal and I will show you this transfer technique. You won't need much. You don't need a jelly plate. You just need a substrate, magazines, and of course, gel medium. So the first time that I used this wonderful technique was in 2021 using this blue Dina Wakley journal, the jeans, the one with the jeans in it. And it was for me very exciting to work in this new way of working. It was just great. There is another book in which I used it, but that's a collaboration. And that book is with Angela again. So this is the only really old one that I can show you. 2021. This was from a magazine, a fashion magazine from one of my favorite clothing brands, Didi, and I really loved using it because it had the same light colors as this background, this jeans background. It's just amazing to work with similar colors. And what I most of the time do is work on a background layer, first layer, which is already painted. You can do it without, but sometimes the magazine paper is clinging to the art journal paper or whatever paper you use. My experience is that it also works on wood. And I don't know what about fabric. So if you use this jeans, I don't think it's clinging to the jeans fabric, but that's something you could try out. But it was a really nice thing to do, and I was really surprised by the result. But you see, the result is also a bit, as if there's a white layer upon it, and that's that's true, because this is still leftover glue, and you can simply wipe that away with a little kitchen towel with just a few drops of oil, baby oil. It could also be sunflower oil. It could also be olive oil. Whatever oil you have, you can use for it. So I will show you some more of the results from this technique. And this is the one that I got from, that's very funny what's happening there. So this is my Dina Wakley ledger journal. And in this one, I give myself permission to use this technique more often because normally I really like to use my original paintings and don't use a lot of things created by other people, like pictures or things from out of magazines or stamps. But I really wanted to try it out. And the fun thing is that when you have white, there's actually no ink in the paper. So what's happening? It's just the white of the paper. So you think it's a white butterfly in this case, but it's actually transparent. So what's happening? The ledger background with the writing and calculations, it's still visible underneath. So for me, that was a really great experience to see. And you can also, in this case, you can also see that it's mirrored. So there are some words in it, but it's mirrored. So when you use this technique, be aware of that. So for example, when you have a face looking at the right, it will appear in your print, it will appear as someone who is looking to the left, like this woman. Now, I will show you some other examples like this one. And this is a great one a great scenery from a table, a writing table. And I love that one so much that I first made a copy from it, because I thought, when this one is not succeeding, I want to have the original. Well, this is not the original, but by the way, you can simply copy your original if you don't want to use the original, and then simply copy it or print it out, and then you have another one. And you can work with this one as well. And that's what I've done in another example. I will show that. But here also you can see it's all mirrored. So it's the other way around. Everything is on the other way around. I will show you some more examples. It's also possible to just use a tiny little piece of a pattern. This is from a pattern from, I think, Happiness. And it was totally matching the page. And you see, I just torn little pieces of it. And the wonderful thing about it is that it's really flowing onto the page that's already there. So you don't feel that there's, well, something is glued down. Like this, you can really see it's glued down. And in this case, I don't mind. But for a background pattern, I just love it when it's absorbed by the page that is behind it. So I really love that effect. I wanted to explore even more with this technique. And then I found me this old postcard that Holly Thomas sent me a couple of years ago for my birthday. So it's very funny that here's my birthday actually from this year, and this is from a few years back. And she sent me this card, and I wanted to try what happened when I just pasted it. This was a white background again, and you see what happened. It just goes with the background that's already there. So this is slightly transparent, and the pattern is still visible. In some cases, it's faded. It's not a hard edge around it. You don't see a square anymore. It's just absorbed by the page, and this is mirrored as well. So I really love that. And well, maybe I could go for this technique more often, especially when it's not a very outstanding dominant pattern, but just something, an addition to a page. But it's taking some time, and you will see that in a couple of minutes. So this is another one. I loved this drawing, but I am not like putting drawings just like this in a sketchbook. So I thought it would be nice to have this one in this art journal, but with a background. And also here you see I printed this on a blank A4 sheet. And also here you can clearly see that it absorbed the background totally. And this is almost white. It's a lighter color. But I think I haven't painted this as well. So I just did some other things to fill up the page a little. But you see the cat, my cat Pearl, is, well, pretty the same one as that one, but it's mirrored. So this is really fun if you have some nice drawings that you just want to transfer into your art journal. And I thought this one really belongs to this art journal. And it's also feeling like a complete new project. This is just a sketch. And I could have pasted it in, but then I had to layer it even more. It's not the same size as the page, so I definitely had to do something with it. The book was already very thick, and I was towards the end of the book, so this technique is really good when you want to have something thin in your book. So really nice. But how does it work? Well, I'll show you one more, and that's this one. And this one, this was actually a jelly print that I've shown you before in one of my previous videos. I will put that one also in the end screen, the link of that video or the video itself. And here you can see it's not mirrored. So this is a complete transfer with the jelly plate. But this one I did actually the same way as that I done the cat. So this girl was actually looking to the left, but now she's looking to the right. And this was from an old painting, and I don't have that painting anymore, but I wanted her in this art journal. So I just took a picture, an old picture that I still had from that painting, and I copied, or I printed out that picture, and then I transferred it onto this page. So let's move on to the next part, how to do this. Now, what you need is some magazines, or just some pictures you created yourself, or maybe even this, like from a tea bag box. This is also from a magazine, and you could copy that like I did here. So you can use either the original or the copy. I think I am about to use the original this time. And I also just have some things that I like color-wise, because it's a really good way to bring on over some colors. I also have some patterns, and I have a very old magazine. So these are some things that I just grabbed out. And then you need some gel medium. I have the matte version from Amsterdam. You could also go for transfer medium. I think I used that in the first Tina Wakely art journal, but I can't remember it anymore. So I think for all the ones in my later work, I also always been using this one. So I know that it doesn't really matter which kind of paper you use, but how it often works is that this paper has two sides. So it has this side printed and this side. So what you need to do, you also need a substrate. And I go for an art journal. Like I said before, I think it's best to create a background first, especially when you have a very nice example and you want to keep that one. Well, don't want that one to fail, actually. That's mainly the case. So what I do is put a nice background underneath, and I thought it was purple, but it is like kind of black. So I will add a little purple. You see, as soon as I add some white to it, it's looking totally different. And I really love creating backgrounds like this. And sometimes I simply go for this to have it on the other side of the page as well. And sometimes it's just giving some wonderful layers. And this page is at least a little filled, then so maybe I go for some lighter colors. But at least the part that's going to be my dominant page for the print, I'm giving some colors. I like the page to be filled, so later on I can of course add other colors when I'm not satisfied with this part, but I think it will be doing fine. Maybe adding some more purple on this page, adding some more orange. But maybe I want to keep this page really like quiet, because this is going to be the part where it's all about. So I could take a brush now and go for filling up the full page, but you're watching this video because you want to see the transfer thing. So what I'll be doing is drying this. It needs to dry well before I'm adding the glue and the paper. This one is dry right now. So I can simply add my illustration onto this surface. We need this part, not that part. So I have to turn it upside down. And what I could do is remove the white around it so that it will be nicely, be part of the page. And this is a beautiful image from, I think it's out of the Happiness. And I stored this one for many years. So I hope this one will be succeeding. And otherwise I simply make a picture out of it once more. But I still have a copy of it. I think it's some kind of Indian, I don't know. I really love it. So I will take one more picture of it. So now I'm ready to glue, and you could do two things. You could go for gluing this full page, or you could also go for gluing this part of the page. So what I'll be doing is gluing my magazine part. So I use this to glue on. So I'm gluing on top of the right side. And I make sure I spread the glue. I make sure that it's everywhere. So in order that this layer will be transferred to my art journal, especially the sides. And I don't think that this is possible with newspaper things, but you could try everything, and when it's failing, then you can simply add a layer of paint upon it. But when you are afraid that you lose your original, make a copy of it. Now we are going to put this in the right place. I think just here in the middle, and then I will glue it down, and I will make sure that the sides are properly glued. I have some paint on my hands. I don't know where it's coming from. I hope it's not on my image. Now this has to wait for, well, I always say, let's take a day for it. Let's take 24 hours. And then you can rub off this upper layer. So I'm very curious what will be happening. And tomorrow we will look at the result. But maybe I want to show you a little more like this. This is also from Happiness, and it's a little patterned work. And I have a page here in this small buku created by Meta from Buku Delphi. And I just want to do some, well, I really love this one with the stones, but there's also this one with the tulips. It's also a nice one. And I love this one. So we go for that one, definitely. And we just make a nice collage page. So I can, later on, I can overlap the text that I don't want to have in. And this is going to be a lot easier because I can simply add this to the book. I also love the background. What's the background of this? I really love that. Oh, that's the clothes of this woman and the hair of this woman. Look. We can go for, what is it? The hands. The hands with the stones. We do it on this page, I think. Adding too much glue, it isn't really a problem. So I have found another page in this tiny traveler's notebook to add some, well, maybe that tulips things. They're really amazing. And it's exactly the same color, so it would be great if those tulips are in this art journal. And just a little addition to it. And maybe I don't want this black. Like this, it's just great if to add this into this art journal. And these are just some pages with leftover paint. And I didn't know what to do with them. They aren't finished. Here I have another little pattern that could be nice on this page as well. But I think it's a bit too bright for me. And then I have this image, but this is too purple, so I won't use that for this page. But also we have this wonderful old magazine, and that's something that we found in Anthony's garage. It's with all kind of, well, really old images. I think this one is from 1952. So it's very old. I really love that one with skating, the old Dutch images, old commercials. But this will all be mirrored, so I don't think I want it to be mirrored. But it would be nice to use something out of this magazine. Let's see what we have. Like this, an old face or something. It's just great to use that. Maybe we can just get out a little of this. And then we have just see what will be happening, right? This is not going to be a main project. It's just cool. Maybe I can use it for somewhere in this book. Or I have another idea. we have this book. And in this book, I have this painting. And it would be so nice to have this old commercial thing on this page. Oh, this is also amazing. Maybe I would go for that one. I go for that one. That's even better. I just love it. I just want to use and see what will be happening, especially on this background that I'm not sure about what it will be. It will be surprising integrating this old magazine into my art. So this will be the final one that I'll be doing, and then I have to wait for a day. And I think in summertime you can wait shorter. But for now, I just take that day, and I hope I can sleep tonight because I'm so curious what this will look like. So it's the next day, and today we are about to remove the magazines that I put on this page. And I also have another one I have pasted here, the advertisement next to the 50s woman. And then we have some things that went wrong because I closed the book, and then this was a bit damaged. So I am very curious what will be happening when I remove. So let's start with the largest one, that's this one. And now what I have is warm water, and then I rub off the first layer, and I have to find me a starting point from where I can easily remove the upper layer, that the back side layer. Let's call it the back of the paper. And then in the beginning, I always use a lot of water, and then there's a starting point. Like here, the first pieces of paper are getting off, and I'm hopefully not peeling off the right layer, but I think this is good. But it could also be the purple of the back from this, so this is always a bit exciting. I always work from the middle to the outside, and I never start here from the edges, because then you can easily peel off all the layers, so then nothing is left from your underlying layer that you want to cling onto your art journal paper. And sometimes I take some time to clean everything in between, but most of the time I do that in the end. So I think this is a good starting point. This was the image from the two lover people out from, it was from Happiness, I think. From the magazine Happiness, a Dutch magazine. So I think this will be nice. But from now on, I will fast forward the video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on the notification bell. So you now see the result from this first thing that I rubbed off. I hope everything was, not too glossy, because it's very wet. I used a lot of water, I think everything succeeded. Only here I peeled off a bit of the pages itself, but I know how I created these colors, and you see how nicely it's integrated in the background. I could go for maybe a little frame or just paint the sides a little, but first I let it dry, and then we can add a little oil to it to get the final gel medium off, the final layer of gel medium. And here I see there's still something here that I can rub off. So then I can clean it, and I can simply go wipe it a little with baby oil or olive oil. And now we go to the next one. I'll put the book aside for a moment, and now I go on with this one, the one that failed a little. And well, it's really very important how much water you add to this. When you don't add water, you have to push it a little more, and then maybe, well, I had a friend and she was doing this for a long time. She was kind of addicted to this, also using old photographs and all kind of stuff she could find. And she was doing this on wood, in her art journals, on paper, on everything that she could find. And she had blisters on her fingers. So then she decided to wear plastic hand gloves to protect her own hands. But sometimes she couldn't even work because she was, well, she was doing this a lot. I think she was doing this all day long. Now I have no starting point, so let's see what's happening when I am working it from the outside in. Yes, now I have a starting point, and I don't even know what was underneath anymore. I think it were the tulips. So let's see what will be happening. And sometimes you will see that some paper has not 2 layers, but even 3 or 4, depending on the thickness of the paper. But this is just magazine paper, so it has a front and a back, so just 2 sides. And this is a smaller surface, so I won't speed up the video. You see how nicely it's working out in combination with this background, and I still don't know what this was. Maybe it was just a pattern. It was also from the Happiness magazine. I think it's just a pattern. And then I had the tulips on the other page. I think the tulips were on the other page. So I have to keep it flat. So I hope everything is working out nicely. And now I have to be careful with this, because this is actually the paper that rubbed off, like here, it's broken. So I don't want it to be more broken. So here we go. Almost have it. And sometimes this is taking me lots more time than creating something myself. So I really have to make sure that it's really something that I want in a book. Because otherwise I could better do it myself. But this is something that's really awesome. So I will go for the other one. This is something I need to fix later on. Now I go to back to this book again, because I still have to do one more thing I will put this in between. Now we have the page with the 50s woman, and that's this one. And I'm very curious to see what will be happening here. Very old pages, so I am not sure what will be here. And this paper has another smell. It's very old. And I'm extra careful with searching the starting point for this. And it's almost a pity that I have to remove the upper layer of the advertisement. But we can just use one side. Now I'm very curious because it looks like I see the background of my painted page again. And that's not what I want. But you can see also what's happening with white paper. When you have, when you use white paper, it's the same as with the butterfly. The page from the ledger journal that I've been showing you. Let's see what will be happening. So you see what's happening right now is that I see a part of a face right now, and the white isn't printed. It's just the white of the paper. So what's happening is that you only see the black, because that's the ink. The other things aren't ink. So that's really a fun thing about this project. I hope it's a fine thing. So from now on, I will speed up the video and we come back to you after the commercials when we have the final result from this page. Now I have two options. I could leave it this way and then I see still a little of the front. And this is the back of the paper that's mirrored, and I really love that. And I especially love that the woman appears here in this part of the image. And I've never worked with this kind of paper, so I'm very happy. And now you can also see the effect of having a white background put on a darker surface. So when you use white paper like this, you will just see the black ink and you won't see any of the white. This is only the case with white paper because then there's no ink added. But if you have a pretty light background like yellow or pink, you will see the yellow and pink. But this will only happen when using a white background. So this is a very nice thing. I'm happy to use both sides of it. A little of the mirrored part and a little of the normal part, because it's also having the same colors as the pages. Now I will clean up the mess and then I will add some baby oil to the dry parts. So now we will go for the cleaning part, the last final cleaning part. Yes, it's getting a little messy, so it's good to have your vacuum cleaner and your dustbin within hand reach, and then you can clean up the mess. Now you can already see this is the first one that I've been started. This is the first one I created. And well, you see this one is already a little whitened, and that's because I have some leftover glue that's on the page. So what I will be doing is adding some olive oil. That's the only thing that I have. And I hope it's not too glossy. I think it's well. And then we just have a few drops of oil. And then you can already see the result. And I will remove the final pieces of paper and the final pieces of glue that are on the page. And I will be careful when I am reaching the edges, because then I can damage things. And sometimes you have to do this once more. Sometimes it's okay, but you have to wait for 10 minutes or so until everything has dried up. And then you can still wipe away some white parts, but this is how I do it. And then, well, you can see it's clearly visible right now. And sometimes I also love it when it's still a little, well, and it's not so glossy as this, but when it's a bit faded. And sometimes I just bring things together, like putting a little orange, like here is some orange, I put it also around it. Sometimes I just paint over the paper to let it connect the background and the image. So that there are two ways to do that. I will show it to you. You can see that it's glossy, but you can also see how it's integrated in the page, and it's really nice. I could also go for a frame or maybe a rope around it. I don't know yet. I definitely have to fix that. And of course, there needs to be an image on the left page of this. But I am very happy with this. And I will clean up the other things just to show you the effect of it. And then I have to mend this one again, like the other page. Okay, here you can clearly see this is a nice pattern. And then we have this book again, having the final project, and that's this one. And I want to be very careful with this one, because I also love that there are two layers of, on the page. And maybe I even go for some more advertisements on this page. So I won't clean up this one too much. The difference between this paper and also the larger image, the difference is that this is glossy paper and this is kind of newspaper or book paper, and it is working, but I'm afraid that when I touch it too much, then it will break as well. And because I have these two layers that I want to have in my art journal page, I leave it this way, and it's also not glossy. I like the effect. It's really nice next to this page. So that was it for this week. I hope you enjoyed watching and that you find this video inspiring and that you will try this technique yourself. And if you have any experience with this, please let me know. Did it succeed or did it fail? Please let me know. I am very curious about your results. And I hope to see you next week. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and turn on the notification bell. And I will see you next week or maybe earlier. Who knows? Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.